Hello, everyone. Welcome to the investor presentation of Setu Capital. I'm Nikhil Mishra, founder of Setu Capital. And today I will take you through our investment brochure. So the contents of these reports will mainly be about who we are, what are the frameworks, principles, and ethics which we follow, what is the process map of our organization, what sort of client support which we provide, and the standard disclaimer which any intermediary involved in dealing with marketable securities has to follow, and simultaneously our client should also be um, abreast about. So who we are? So Setu Capital is a boutique mutual fund distribution firm established to help individuals and corporates achieve their financial goals and deploy capital efficiently. We cater to clients across geographies. We have clients in Middle East. We have clients in North America as well. And all our transactions are done digitally, which makes it more secure. We try to live by the motto of Mr. Warren Buffett, where he says that it takes 20 years to build a reputation and 20 minutes to lose it. Each and every decision of ours are based by following on these motto. What are the frameworks, principles, and ethics which we follow? So we have a rule in our organization that of 10,000% rule, which simply means is 100% compliance, 100% of time. So we do not try to cut any corners. Nothing of that sort is tolerated in any aspect of our business. The second one is independence and objectivity. So product recommendations are completely meritocratic based, and qualitative and quantitative parameters take precedence over any other aspect of the business. Third is confidentiality and competence. We are in the business of wealth management, and we believe that we are in a generational business where most of our clients will be with us for more than a decade or two. We take the data privacy of our clients in a very strict manner and try to comply with each and every possible measures in order to maintain the strict confidentiality and secrecy. So what are the guiding principles which we have? Although there are many guiding principles which we have, but there are few which are most important to us, and we try to play as a professional firm a large part. The most important part which we follow is the client handling during market turmoil. This is our most important job, because a client, not every client has the risk appetite of undergoing through a situation which they can see their, like it happened in the March of 2020, where they saw their wealth eroded by 30-40%. So wealth has been created for a long time, and a person, when they see that so much wealth is eroded in such a short period of time, it may force them to take some unwanted hastily decisions which they may regret after in the hindsight. Then second thing is we are completely long-term oriented. We are long-term oriented, fundamental based institutions. We completely avoid speculation. We do not recommend our clients, nor do they should expect us from us what the capital markets will be doing in, let's say, next 1 years. Leave aside what will happen in 1 month or 2 months. Nobody knows. Okay, we from my personal experience, I can say that markets in the short term are run on emotions, medium term on liquidity, and long term on fundamentals. We completely focus on fundamentals. We are giving capital to organizations who will deploy it on our own, on our behalf, and accordingly, if the company grows, so will the profits and revenues of the company and dividends as well, and they will share, and accordingly the net asset value of our units as well. We try to create tailor-made strategies which are suitable for our clients. We create tax efficient solutions. We pay attention to tax, because a person in the highest tax bracket, having a considerable wealth in marketable securities, can lose a lot of capital if it is tax inefficient. So tax efficiency is of prime importance. Lastly, we give precedence to the quantitative aspects rather than the emotional judgment. We try to uh, consult with our client on a regular basis, so in order to understand what they are doing in their personal life, what is their attitude towards the finance, what is happening, are they in the right directions or not, these things. Now, what is the process map when a client comes to us for an investment? So we take them through there is 4-step process, obviously, where the first process starts with client onboarding. We get client onboarding, then comes the portfolio construction and recommendation. Then there is portfolio implementation. And lastly, portfolio review and rebalancing. Starting with client engagement. So the first step, it's a 5-step process where we engage with our client in a multi-step process way. The first step is understanding client requirement, where we try to understand what are your prime objectives, what do you wish to achieve, what present situation you are in, what is it that matters to you, and so on. Then according to that requirement, we try to create goals. So we try to create goals. So goals can be anything. Supposedly a person of, let's say, wants to have a corpus of 5 crore rupees by the age of 60. So accordingly, that is a goal. Somebody wants to send her daughter to US for studying medicine after, let's say, 10-15 years. That is another goal. These sort of small goal setting activities are created so that accordingly we can identify what is the amount of capital which has to be deployed, expecting a suitable return for that individual. Third is profiling. Now, we do various types of profiling. We try to understand your financial capability. What is your financial profiling? Whether you are risk averse, whether you are having a good understanding of the capital markets. We also do soft profiling. Using this, we try to match our understanding and get to identify the suitability of product. The fourth step is the market education, where we try to educate our clients about what happens on a day-to-day basis in the market. Since capital markets are evolving in nature, so we also try to keep our clients informed about what is going on, what's happening in the global world, what is happening in China, what is happening in US. Because although in theory that nothing is correlated, there is, but once there is a panic at certain stage, so global markets are more or less correlated right now, and there is impact and repercussions which can be felt everywhere, as it has happened in multiple phases during the Greece crisis, or let's say the recent COVID crisis, which engulfed the whole universe. Then last step is the documentation, where we try to do complete documentation so that everything is in a written format, which can be shared with the client as well, so that they get to know that we and them are on the same page. Okay, we have understood them well. They also agree to the same facts. So for portfolio construction and recommendation, these are the whole set of processes where we set out the portfolio guidelines, then we have the asset allocation decided based on their risk, age, liquidity, and duration of investment. Then we create an investment policy statement where we document client engagement contract and outline their preference, the client preference, and the extent of our services which we'll be providing. Portfolio construction is done by using a judicious mix of investment products, and then we try to devise whether they want to have a strategic asset allocation or tactical asset allocation, which I will be explaining further in further time. And lastly, portfolio recommendation, where we discuss with our clients our recommended portfolios and then just go after the implementation phase. So the implementation phase consists of compliance, then there is online transaction, then the documentation, then transaction registration and execution and reviewing. So this is the implementation phase. Compliance can be of various types like KYC compliance, FATCA, foreign compliance, filing common application forms. Then AF registration can be done, mandate registration has to be done, documentation of account opening form, then transaction registration, with whether they want to go for lump sum or SIP or a combination of all those. Then we do a consistent monitoring and execution of transaction. We also do follow up and review. Now this is an important slide in our from our point of view, where we try to do two types of reviews. So we try to create unique client-centric reviewing model, where we have a periodic review and an annual review. A periodic review consists of fund monitoring and portfolio analysis, where we consistently keep on tracking the markets and try to identify that is there something which has happened in our portfolios which might impact a client's goal. Then accordingly we recommend to our clients to take a decision. And second one would be the strategic recommendation, where we try to take advantage of the market opportunities. So market opportunities come time to time, and we ask clients to deploy capital in a suitable way, which will give them better returns and generate some more alpha. Then there is annual review, where we try to rebalance the portfolio with goals, and we suggest better capital allocation strategies. Rebalancing of portfolios is certainly required, because it might happen that that equities might have performed very well in the past 1 year, and accordingly it is better off to take away some of the chips from the table and deploy it to some other asset classes, be it gold, be it debt, be it some thematic funds, etc. etc. So a sample asset allocation for a person, let's say, which have an aggressive risk profile. Aggressive risk profile means a person who is relatively young, has a working career ahead, has a lot of time left for his working career, do not have dependables, does not have any debt, has no loans, has high civil score, etc. etc. So for that person, we recommend to have a higher equity composition, where 60% can be equity, 25% debt. Liquidity can be 10% and 5% in gold. So the objective of this risk profile is to create wealth with high returns. And obviously, if it entails high returns, it will have higher volatility as well. On the other hand, if a person has a moderate risk profile, where they are also focused on capital protection and wealth creation, so the equity proportion is tamed down a bit. The debt component is increased, and liquidity and gold are there itself. Third is a conservative risk profile. A person who is in their retirement age and has to withdraw capital wants protection of capital rather than the returns. So that person, obviously, the debt portion will be higher and equity considerably lower. See, at this stage of our market cycle, we cannot completely eliminate equity. We can do some tidbit changes in terms of the equity allocation, inside the equity allocation, but we cannot completely eliminate equity. So because debt is more or less at yielding is at the bottom of its interest rate cycle, and we believe that the interest rate going forward should increase from this particular point of time. But nobody knows, because nobody had even expected that there will be negative interest rates in North America. So still the yield on the debt is relatively low, and that's why some equity allocation is required. Now, coming on to the asset allocation strategy, which we discuss with our clients in order to identify that what sort of asset allocation strategy they want to pursue. So in that case, we work upon four types of asset allocation strategies. But the one which we recommend the most to our clients is the strategic asset allocation. Strategic asset allocation. This is the asset allocation where you buy and hold, be diversified, invested in diversified funds, have a long-term point of view, have proportional mix of assets. Because and the strategic asset allocation is more tax efficient and is better for most of the clients' requirements. Now, there are other asset allocation strategies as well, but they are relatively less tax efficient and involve higher churn. They also have higher churn. Simultaneously, they have more more frequent portfolio adjustment, rebalancing of assets has to be done. Now, these asset allocation strategies are impacted by two factors. The first is your risk profile, and the second is financial goals. These two things affect our asset allocation strategies, which is suitable for the customer. Now, so we have a framework for equity, we have a framework for debt. Debt means bonds. Now, the framework for equity is that there are three frameworks where we have large cap, mid cap, and small cap. So large cap are mainly, SEBI has done this categorization, classification, sorry, where the companies having a market cap greater than 20,000 crore are considered to be large cap. They are relatively less volatile. Large caps are mainly the go-to companies which you must have heard of, the Asian Paints, HULs of the world, which you or I use their products on a daily basis in our livelihood. So the minimum recommended investment duration in large caps is 4 to 5 years. Now, coming over here, even in a person having a conservative risk profile, that person should be having the equity composition should be consisting of large cap only, because the drawdowns from the past experience, it has been seen the drawdowns relatively in large caps are less as compared to mid and small cap. Coming on to mid cap, the market capitalization happens to be between 5,000 crore to 20,000 crore. They are moderately volatile. The recommended duration has to be between 5 to 7 years. So equity is not a small term investment. Equity has to be looked from the point of view of long term. Then comes the small cap. These are small companies which have market cap of less than 5,000 crore. They are relatively more volatile. There is a liquidity risk in small caps particularly. That's why the recommended investment duration is minimum 7 years. At this point of stage of the markets, many of you might have been thinking that 7 years is too long. But my friends, there have been periods when the returns have more or less not been as good as we might expect. So taking an example, somebody who entered in, let's say in small caps in 2017, from that point of time till, let's say, by the end of 2020, there were zero returns in small cap. So accordingly, you have to adjust. And there was a drawdown, I would say, from the peak. And there was 30-40% capital erosion in small caps. In the large caps fell by 30-35%. The small caps, and particularly depending on the schemes which you have chosen, there are more than 2,500 mutual fund schemes, out of which schemes you have chosen. The drawdowns depend on that. So beware, be wary, have a longer investment duration horizon if you are investing in small cap. Coming on to the framework for debt mutual funds. So there are three kinds of portfolios which can be created in debt. So they are core, satellite, and liquid. So core consists of debt funds which are high, which provide high safety and liquidity, which invest predominantly in AAA rated security instruments. So AAA ratings are basically given by a third party organization, which is mandated by SEBI for every bond issuer to get themselves rated by a rating agency. So there are 6 to 7 rating agencies in India which do these works. So for mutual funds, the ratings is done by CRISIL. On the other hand, bond debt ratings are done by several rating agencies. So what does core do? So core are an alternative to fixed deposit, and most of fixed income should be invested in this bucket. So a person with a very conservative risk profile should obviously invest in highly liquid and in funds which are high rated and provide ample safety. Then there are satellite funds. So satellite funds has to be a very small proportion of your overall debt allocation, because these are riskier funds as compared to the core uh, and they provide more yield, but that may lead to unwanted situations as well. Quote unquote, there have been incidences in past where there were mutual funds who had invested in the credit, the illiquid papers, and there was turmoil in market when they were not able to sell, and then the regulator had to intervene and calm down the nerves of the market. So these situations happen, and that's why we do not want our investors to be in such a bad situations where they cannot take away their own money, which they have parked for safety. So these are only for investors who have very high risk appetite and are willing to face the drawdown in case such a situation arises. Then comes the liquid funds. So they are extremely safe products. They are the alternative to surplus money which is parked in your bank accounts. They are emergency funds. You can keep your money in your bank account or you can keep in liquid funds as well. They are alternatives. Now, coming on to the technology and client support which we have. So we have a dedicated website where each investor can log into their own portal. They can access their own portfolios. We also have a dedicated mobile app, which of whose glimpses you can see on your screen, where a person can look at their portfolios. They can do transactions of their own without our requirement, and they also have various options of, let's say, generating reports or using calculators of calculators of various kinds, let's say the Crorepati calculator, or let's say child education calculator, or even the EMI calculator of a loan which they have taken. Then they can do the transactions and so on. We do all our transactions digitally, so there is no paperwork involved. None of the clients require to be present. But although situations have to be dealt with in case that requirement comes, and we will be there physically present as well. So next will be the standard disclaimers and all. So this brings us to the end of the presentation, and I would like to put the standard disclaimer which any investor who is investing in the capital market should be aware about this. And lastly, I would like to thank you all for taking out time to listen to my presentation. In case any of you or your family members do need any help in your wealth creation journey, do contact us. We are available. I am available for your service. These are my contact details, and you can just go to our website and everything is available over there. You can also download our mobile app from there. And from the acknowledgement parts, I would like to thank Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger for the selfless knowledge and wisdom which they have imparted to all of us. Personally, it has been uh, very helpful and has had very big contribution to my personal life. So for anyone who is new to the capital markets, I would say that investing as is primarily based upon compounding. And as Einstein has said, that compounding is the eighth wonder of world. So the only recommendation I have you guys is start early, save wisely, and invest regularly. In case you do need any help, just contact us. My credentials are uh, uh, present on the screen, and you can just WhatsApp me, or you can contact through us through mail as well. So I hope you all enjoyed the session. Thank you very much. Thank you.